Welcome, everybody, to this week's edition of Valpo Football Weekly, brought to you by our friends at Lakeshore Bone and Joint Institute. Brandon Vickery with you. Glad to be joined by the head coach of the Valpo football team, Landon Fox. We'll look ahead to this week's game at Drake, but first we'll take a look back at Saturday's victory over Southwest Minnesota State. And let's start with the play of your defense. 4 state punts, fumble, turnover on downs, and the second half did not allow a point. 6 points total allowed with your defense on the field. So what stood out to you about how well you played defensively on Saturday?
Yeah, Brandon, I just thought, that's one thing that we emphasize all week. We really challenged the players all week about just being in the right spots, right? The play doesn't care who makes it. You just have to be there, when it does. And the reality is the one play that did hit there towards the end of the game, that was a mental error on our part. And so if you're not in the right spots, really it comes down to offensive, defensive, special teams wise, you're going to struggle. So just that consistent emphasis of consistency in assignments and alignments and technique.
Another phase of the game was special teams that played a big role in the win. Jashawn Butler, the 2 big kick returns, Max Samuel, the block punt, Ryan Hawk, 40-yard field goal. Your thoughts on the play of the special teams unit on Saturday?
Yeah, I give a lot of credit to Jackson Smith. He kind of heads up our special teams coach. I mean, had put guys in positions to be successful, and then the guys went out and executed at a high level. The disappointing thing is we didn't take advantage of that enough. We got the ball on the 3-yard line, on a block punt, and we come away with no points. And same thing in our kick return game. So, when you're playing at a high level in the kicking game, you got to take advantage of those short fields.
Offensively, the highlight of the day was the 35-yard touchdown run by Michael Apple Jr., the game-winning touchdown late in the game. We've seen him over the course of his career at Valpo do a lot with his arm, but in this case, his legs were the play that proved to be the difference in the game. Your thoughts on that play, what you saw on the 35-yard touchdown run?
Yeah, in terms of the execution, and it comes back to that, but very well executed quarterback draw play. And then, one thing Mikey doesn't get enough credit for is his ability to run the ball. He can run it when needed, but obviously he's very good throwing the football. And I think on those days where maybe he didn't have his best day in terms of completion percentage and maybe miss some guys that he won't normally miss, then you have to take advantage of his size and his ability to get downhill and run the ball.
You trailed the game 15-0. You faced adversity earlier in the season. You faced adversity on the day. Kind of tell me about that moment and then how you turned it around as a football team and rallied to score 16 unanswered.
Yeah, that's something that I'm probably most proud of our team, and it's evolved as we've been here in terms of just a belief. You just keep chopping. We did a nice job, just pretty even keel throughout the game of, hey, we're going to find a way to get this done. And so I mentioned that to the players after the game. And so if you continue to have that approach and you keep playing good, good things will happen.
Now that you've finished the non-conference schedule, and let's talk a little bit about the non-conference scheduling here. Since you've been here, you haven't played a game that's been an easy win. I mean, what is it like to play some of these games against a ranked NAIA team, against a D2 team from a very good conference? And how do those type of games prepare you for conference play?
Yeah, I think anytime you can go out and play against good teams, it's only going to help your football team out. The thing that we have to do a much better job is playing in all 3 phases. Right now, it seems like if one phase is playing well, then maybe the other one's not. And so we got to get all of us playing in terms of all 3 phases, the kicking game, offense and defense, all playing together at the same time and executing. And I think that can help us, maybe not always have to play those 60-minute games, but when it comes down to league play, that's what it's going to be. And so you can mark that down right now. That's what's going to happen from here on out.
Well, let's look ahead to this week at Drake. And the last 2 trips to Des Moines have been the first 2 wins in Des Moines in program history, but it's always a tough place to play. Drake won last year at Brownfield. What can you tell us about the team that you'll play on Saturday?
It's typical Drake, and I say that just from the standpoint they're as sound defensively. You're not going to get a bunch of different looks, but very sound defensively. And then all the way around from a team standpoint, they're big, strong, and physical. That's what they recruit. And so defensively, very sound in what they are. And then from an offensive perspective, they want to come out and they want to be physical at the point of attack. They're going to try to run the football, and then if they're running the football, that really helps their play action pass game. So. And then same thing in the kick game in terms of just very, very sound. You're not going to do anything that surprises you in terms of, this is different. This is, kind of different than maybe other teams do. It's just they're going to come right at you and play.
There he is, head coach of the Valpo football team, Landon Fox. The game's at 1 o'clock on Saturday, and if you can't make it out to Iowa, you can watch on ESPN+. Talk to you again next week on Valpo Football Weekly, presented by Lakeshore Bone and Joint Institute.